Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Alex of Star Astrology, and this is my video for the full moon in Scorpio coming in on April 23rd, 2024, which is a Tuesday if you're on Pacific Standard Time. However, you'll want to adjust for your current location on the planet as that time and date may change. I'm hoping that my audio for this video is good. If there is a little bit of an echo, I apologize. I won't really know until I edit the video what it sounds like. I am not in my usual recording space and I don't have my mic, so hopefully it sounds okay. Wow, you guys, we are really in a time. The main theme right now is change. So much change. Change outside, change inside. A lot of it is information, emotional information, energetic information, intellectual information. There's just a lot of information being processed and calibrated, and a huge part of this is that we have two of our megalithic planets that deal with change and transformation with upfront and center guest spots in the chart right now. That's the planet Uranus and Pluto. Both are major players in the chart right now, and both deal with change. The change that they initiate is different. Pluto change is different from Uranian change, but they're both happening at the same time. And we're going to explore the different types of change that they both carry and teach within this video. But I mean, that right there off the bat, I think that's just what I kind of want to start by pointing out, is that Pluto is the ruler of this full moon coming in on Tuesday the 23rd. And Pluto is making really intense aspects in the chart. And then Uranus has come and is now making its exact conjunction with Jupiter as of yesterday, the 20th. Let's actually come into the present here. I'm filming this on the 21st, and the exact conjunction happened yesterday, but they are still pretty much exact. You can see here they're both at 21 degrees and only 1 minute apart. So they are very close together. So this is the magical moment. This is the moment many of us have been waiting for. Some of us with excitement, some of us with nervousness. I think a little bit of both is appropriate, because when these two come together, you just never know what you're going to get. When two planets come together like this, it is known in astrology as a conjunction, which is basically a fancy word that means they have come together. They are meeting up. These two have not met up since 2010, 2011, and that was in the sign of Pisces. They have not come together like this in the sign of Taurus, where they are now, since 1941. So these two have not seen each other in a very long time. And these two have very interesting chemistry. When two planets meet up in a conjunction, they merge energies. So if Jupiter was red and Uranus was yellow, they would basically be creating orange. They're merging energy fields and they are combining forces to send through a lesson. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. Aquarius rules revolution. So revolution is where we tear down an old system or an old way of viewing things, doing things, living, and we erect an entirely new, fresh way of perceiving the world, a fresh strategy, a fresh timeline. Now, it's a beautiful concept objectively, because this, of course, accelerates evolution if we are sort of catapulting ourselves forward in a new way. But the process is fundamentally chaotic and dysregulating, because it does require that the old way, the old perception, or the old life be torn down. And the thing about Uranus is that it's quite sudden. Uranus rules electricity, so its energy is very much like the flash of a lightning bolt where it strikes really quickly. It's associated with earthquakes and volcanoes, and we've been having some of those, which is not a surprise. It's actually one of the easier things in astrology to predict, because Uranus rules electricity in our bodies, Kundalini energy, but also in the planet. And so the planet starts releasing pressure because the planet is sort of going through its own Kundalini process, as we are as well. So all over the world right now, people are having essentially a Kundalini ascension process, and their perception is shifting. But with that comes dramatic changes in people's lives, positively and negatively. And of course, that's really going to depend on how this is hitting someone's chart. Uranus and Jupiter are actually making beautiful aspects in this chart. And I'm hoping that this is helping this feel like a smooth-ish process for people out there. I think that there can be lots of us out there that are having truly magical moments at this time. And I'm talking about really galactic, supernatural realizations. Really, the sky is the limit here. I mean, Uranus rules extraterrestrials and outer space, and it's connected to our pineal gland. So make no mistake, this is a time of rapid expansion of human consciousness, because Jupiter, the planet that is nearby, combining forces with Uranus, is a magnifier. So Jupiter is magnifying that revolutionary energy. It's bringing us fresh perspective that's helping us see things differently. It's bringing in opportunities that we didn't have before. But guess what? That means allowing our life, the structure and familiarity of our life, to dissolve with this new incoming information. And again, that is fundamentally destabilizing. So if you are a person that fears change, has a hard time with change, or has felt unready to accept the changes that are occurring within and outside of you, this may be a harder time. But I think that it's also a time of coming into acceptance around some of that, which actually brings us into our full moon. So let's go to the full moon in Scorpio. I mean, on the one hand, I just want to give us a big hug here, because as if this all wasn't intense enough, then we have a full moon in Scorpio that just kind of arrives on the scene after those eclipses, which it feels like it's been years since I put out a video, and it's only been a couple of weeks because those eclipses were so intense. That eclipse on April 8th, the new moon eclipse in Aries, it rocked a lot of people. And then here we have this full moon in Scorpio so soon after. It's just a lot. Like I said, we're calibrating a lot. And the full moon in Scorpio, so the ruler of this full moon would of course be Pluto. And when we look at Pluto, which is our second transformer planet, Uranus is the revolutionary change planet, Pluto is the death rebirth planet, and Pluto is squaring the full moon almost exactly. That is a stress aspect between Pluto and the full moon in Scorpio. Not exactly ideal, because this puts sort of like dark pressure on Scorpio, which is going to aggravate and bring forth or invoke the darker side of Scorpio. But that is what's going to initiate this big purge and letting go. That's going to, I feel, assist us in catching the wave of the revolutionary energy that Uranus wants to bring in for us. It's kind of like we've got to flush some of this stuff out. We've got to flush some of this grief out and what we have to release our grasp on in order to bring in the new. So this is a death. This is a freaking death. I'm not going to lie. And you got to make space for that. Grief is natural. There's a lot of grief in the chart lately, I gotta say. Mercury and all these planets making aspect to Chiron between that April 8th eclipse and now. Like, I know we try to stay positive, and I like to always, of course, not focus on the shadow too much, but it is just here. There is some grief. There's also a lot of new opportunity. It's both. It's odd. It's like we really have to, I think, honor the process that we're going through and not try to rush into the opportunity, but also give the grief its place at the table. But hopefully, I think that this full moon in Scorpio is going to help, as I said, sort of purge that grief aspect of things to where we may feel much better, actually, on the other side of this full moon in Scorpio. But we've got to face it first. There is some shadow work present in this full moon in Scorpio. So let's talk about it a little bit. So how is Pluto's change different from Uranus? Well, we talked about Uranus and how it's more about new perspective that revolutionizes your life and causes quantum upgrades. It's more like intellectual. Pluto is more emotional because Pluto is where we experience, again, death. So we have to let go. We have to surrender. And then we also have to confront all of the dark emotions that surge within as a response to loss. So death and rebirth with Pluto can be literal, or it can be figurative. It can be symbolic, where a chapter or something is ending, or it can be literal. Somebody could actually transition, and there may be many people that are experiencing death or a loss of a loved one or a relationship or a pet or a living situation. Like something is changing. There's a big chapter shift happening. Now, this full moon will illuminate that transformative process. There's going to be a flashlight, a spotlight that shines right on it. So we're going to have to look at it. We're going to have to look at the loss for a minute. And we're already in that. As I put out this video, as I film this, it's not like you got to wait for the full moon to feel this. It's happening, right? In fact, the day of the full moon might be the day where you just have a big emotional release, you accept it, and you move forward. So there may be a celebration of letting go. It could be that for some people. I gotta say, this could be the moment that some have been needing and waiting for to step forward into this new chapter of their life. For other people, they may be very, very in their feelings and just processing. But whatever it is, this is a powerful full moon, you guys. It's a powerful full moon that's going to really show you what needs to go. It does have cord cutting energy around it. So if you are feeling just so much change that you don't even know what you're feeling anymore, this is why. I do want to mention that we are still in the Mercury retrograde. Massively. It will start to heat up here. I do want to mention that we are still in the Mercury retrograde, but it is fast coming to its conclusion. And this is a very, very powerful conclusion because let's actually go forward. So here we are today on the 20th, 21st. Let's go forward. 23rd is the full moon, and then 25th is the day that Mercury goes direct. So that is an energy associated with the full moon as well. that we are getting ready to make some big decisions about our way forward, because when Mercury goes direct in Aries, it's going to be at the North Node. And this is a very honest decision about where we need to go next. And because it's in opposition to the South Node in Libra, where we're going next, unfortunately, is going to take us away from certain relationships that we are outgrowing. It's just what is being asked of us all right now. It's a test. It's an initiation. How brave can you be? How honest can you be that you have outgrown certain contracts, that you need to prioritize your truth, your authentic truth for yourself of what it is that you truly want and where it is that you're truly going. And it's Aries North Node is hard because it requires bravery. It can feel lonely. It can feel scary. You have to really get in your warrior energy. And we're really kind of at this home stretch. I gotta tell you that the energy starts to get a lot easier after April. We've got some beautiful energy end of May, beginning of June. Oh my God, guys, it's gorgeous. And I'm actually going to be putting out my part 2 to my Astrology 2024 Year of the Dragon. I did the January through June. I'm going to be doing June through the end of the year, and I'll be releasing that early June. So that'll be really exciting, so we can go into all of the beautiful energies for the rest of the year. But well done, you guys. We are almost through April. This is one of the gnarliest years, or excuse me, one of the gnarliest months in astrology I have ever seen. And we are at the home stretch. This full moon is going to release a shit ton of energy. Then Mercury is going to go direct on April 25th. People are going to make big choices about where they're going next, what they're doing, relationships. It's almost like they're going to make a stand. And then the chips will fall, will integrate, heal, calibrate. But use this full moon in Scorpio to purge, to cord cut, to cry, to journal, to really release any pain, any grief, any shadow that you need to have a ceremony, right? Like you can even have a memorial for the parts of life that you are saying goodbye to. It's real, some of this has to be processed. But on the other side, I think that there will be a lot of this Uranus revolutionary energy to harness. And that is very, very exciting because that has so much opportunity. So, wow, guys, I'm on the ride with you. It has been an interesting couple of weeks. I hope everyone is doing well out there. If you're interested in booking a reading with me, I am taking bookings right now. You can find me at my website, coyotestarastrology.com. And if you don't already follow me on Instagram, you can find me there at Earth2Coyote. All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and a share. I really appreciate it. Bye for now.